Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. So today I got a ridiculous video for you guys. So this is the My Crazy Current Event series, and this series basically, what I do is I react to ridiculous things that go on, I give my reaction to it while playing some game is in the background. But anyways, about this is this story that happened in Maryland. This happened last week. And the ridiculous thing about this, I talked about this on a few of my streams, so you guys might have overheard me. This is the one about the guy who crashes his truck into a restaurant because they didn't have chicken wings. I'm not joking when I say this. This sounds like some made-up story, but this actually happened. The guy actually crashed his truck. He did it on purpose because the restaurant would not serve him chicken wings. So here we go. Let me play the clip here. I'll also link the original video down below, but just check this out.
It all started around 12:37 a.m. Tuesday, near closing time. A customer ordered chicken tenders and waffles and fish and coleslaw. Manager Muhammad Ali says he got the order and went to a table and started eating.
Around 12:45, he came to me and he was like, "Oh, thank you, man. The food was good and bye-bye," and he left.
Another happy customer, right? Wrong. He came back 45 minutes later saying he wanted chicken wings, not tenders. They were wings, but they were there for another customer's order.
5 minutes before we close, I really cannot replace your order, but if you want, I could refund your money. He was like, okay.
The manager asked for the credit card the customer used to pay for the order to give him a refund.
He was like, no, I don't have it.
Ali offered to let him keep the food he already had. For the customer, it was an offer he could refuse.
So you're going to send me home empty-handed with no food? I was like, is a chicken tender and a waffle with you? You can keep it. So, but I don't want a tender. I want a wings.
Then things took a violent turn.
So he started jumping over the counter, reaching for the bag. So I moved the bag to the side. Then, because he was so mad, he throws a chicken tender and a waffle on my face and starts throwing the cash registers around.
What happened inside, that was bad enough. But what happened outside was even worse. That's evidenced by the tire tracks. The customer ripped the door off its hinges,
grabbing the door, trying to come inside the store with the door.
They tussled outside the restaurant before the angry customer ran, but it wasn't over yet.
He jumped in his tow truck, then he slashed the whole building with his truck.
It appears there was a passenger in the truck at the time, and despite the heavy damage to the front end, the angry customer drove away. Now, the truck had a logo on it, a solid lead, right?
The towing truck companies, sometimes they lent their trucks to each other.
So he says police told him that doesn't identify the driver. But Ali says he has identified customers who care. They've been reaching out with information and support.
People know that I'm nice to everybody. I try not to, be mean to anybody or anything.
And he says while he doesn't know what the angry customer may have been going through, he's still baffled and he'd like to see justice done.
I've been in this place for over 10 years. I never seen something like that happening.
The incident is still under investigation. Derek Ward, News 4.
But yeah, this was a ridiculous story. So basically, what happened was the guy had ordered chicken wings, and he had gotten chicken tenders, and he left. He came back 45 minutes later, and he said that he wanted chicken wings. And the manager at that point told him that they're 5 minutes before closing. They shut down all the machines. They wiped everything down probably. And they just told him that they couldn't make chicken wings. The guy starts freaking out at that point, creates just a massive scene. And basically, he sees some chicken wings that are across the counter. And these chicken wings are for another customer, and he's demanding that. Now, the manager in this case actually handled the situation very professionally. I'm assuming the manager actually was not the owner, because he just says he's been there for 10 years, so he's probably not the owner. But regardless, he handled the situation really well. He was being reasonable with him. He told him that the manager offered to refund his order, but he claimed he didn't have the credit card. And then he told him that he can actually keep the food at that point. But for this guy, it was basically still not enough. And the guy tried to jump over the counter, grab the chicken wings. It started a ridiculous fight. Now, what I'll say about this is this is more common than you actually think it is. Not the part with the crashing the truck, that's way more rare. But I'm saying is customers assaulting employees in stores. This happens. Even when I worked in retail, I remember that actually one of my coworkers actually got assaulted once, and basically what happened was she saw a guy that was actually trying to shoplift, and she confronted him, and he pushed her into a shelf. And she was okay, she was fine. She was a bit shooken up from it, but thankfully everything was fine, and nothing bad after that. The guy ran out of the store, but basically, this goes to my point, is that a lot of times workers in these places, they're more vulnerable than you actually think they are. And so you would think that people don't freak out about dumb things, but they do. When I worked in retail, I've seen people just freak out over the most stupidest things. But the most aggressive, violent customer that I've ever personally seen in my life was actually not even when I was actually working in retail, but actually when I was actually in another store. So a few years ago, about 2019, I was in Best Buy, and I was in the phone department. And when I was in the phone department, I was trying to get a new phone. My mom was actually getting a new smartphone at that time, and she asked me, she's like, my plan is about to change. I can help you get a new phone as well. We can make a new plan together. And I said, okay, fine, I'll probably get a new phone, because I'm that type of guy that I usually, get a new phone every 4 or 5 years. I don't need a new phone every year. But, at that point, I was using my phone for a number of years, and so went there to get a new phone. And what happened was, I was waiting at the, phone, counter place, and what ends up happening is, after a few minutes, just waiting there, this one guy comes over, just starts complaining, just causing a scene, saying this is bad customer service. But the thing is, though, is all the representatives were busy. All of them. They were all running around like crazy. And this is the problem, is that these customers are just so stupid that they blame the employees when it's pretty much corporate's fault for not staffing enough people. Then what ends up happening is, maybe 10 minutes after that, I'm waiting there, I'm a pretty patient guy, this big guy comes over, like this meathead, looks like the guy was on steroids, comes on over and says, "You MFers better give me a deal right now, or I'm going to beat the blank out of you." He actually said that. And I actually couldn't believe what I was hearing. I literally could not believe that. They stared at him for a little bit, and then what ended up happening is I got the phone that I wanted, I left. I ended up talking to those employees actually a few days later when I went to the stores for something else. Everything turned out fine in the end, but it just goes to show you that you have really unpredictable people and just really dumb people that, do insane things. But in this case, this is the most insane customer freak out that I have seen in years. Literally years. So basically what ended up happening is when the idiot jumped over the counter, manager got into a scuffle with him, got into a bit of a fight, and the guy actually ends up smashing the door. So actually smashed the door and then tried to take the door and ram the store with it. And at that point, the manager actually went outside and he tackled the guy. Probably not the smartest thing to do in that type of situation, because you don't know whether the guy has a knife or a gun or anything else. Also, you don't know what kind of state of mind the guy is in. The guy could be on drugs, which I suspect. He possibly could have been on drugs, because nobody in their right mind does something like this. But regardless, his reaction is understandable. It's understandable why he, tackled him, because his store was getting vandalized. I think a lot of people would have reacted in the same way. But, just the point that I'm making is that you never know what somebody has when you fight them. But anyways, manager tries to get the guy at the store, tackles him. The guy ends up leaving first, but then gets into his truck, rams this tow truck into the store. Well, he just smashes it in. And, I'm just thinking to myself, and like, what kind of moron does something like this? Because literally where are you going to find a job at this point, buddy? I don't know if this guy's a tow truck driver or what, but my question is, where are you going to find a job? Because if you're working as a tow truck driver, you're definitely getting fired at this point. You're definitely getting fired 100%. And so whenever you try to find a job anywhere, they're going to see you were that idiot that literally started a fight at a restaurant and then crashed his truck into the restaurant when you didn't get your way. What a complete fool, complete idiot. But what I'll say about this is not the police response was actually pretty stupid. When the police actually told the manager that they're probably not able to identify the guy because the truck was a rental, and so apparently the guy works for a company that rents out trucks from another company or something like that. But here's the thing about this, guys, is this is not rocket science. This is literally not this is 2023. It should be a lot easier to find this guy than the police are making it out to be. First of all, you got the guy's entire face on camera there. He used his credit card, which you could probably check the numbers on the credit card. You could see exactly, you could contact the credit card company and you could find out exactly who this belongs to. The store could check their records, could show the police what credit card was used specifically for that. It's one way to trace the guy. Another way to trace the guy, other than the camera, is the place where this happened This happened at an intersection. I looked at it actually on Google Maps. And this intersection is probably having multiple cameras. If there are, I don't know whether Maryland, the state where this is, if they have traffic cameras, but there's probably other cameras around this place, in this intersection. There's a lot of stores. There's probably other cameras that probably captured the vehicle as it was leaving. So that's another way. There's a paper trail here because you can follow the cameras and you can see which direction the guy went down in. Eventually, there might be cameras that will, you won't have enough cameras for every angle, but you could get an idea of at least what direction the guy left in. And on top of that, the most important way, the easiest way to find this guy is eventually this truck has to be returned. You check the license plate on the truck. You check the license plate on the truck, you find out what company rented out this truck, and eventually this idiot is going to have to return this truck to that company. And so when you're looking for somebody and you're trying to narrow down the list and somebody's bringing back a truck and there's just a tow truck that's just smashed and he fits the description, you know you got the guy at that point. So honestly, I don't know what kind of police response that was. The police maybe could have told him, you know, we'll get this guy. It might take us a little bit of time, but we'll get him. But that response right there, where they just said, we can't identify the guy for this, come on. You know, this is not rocket science. Like I said, there's plenty of ways to identify this guy and narrow down exactly where this truck was rented from and find this guy. It's not that hard. The guy is definitely getting charged with assault and battery and vandalism. And question is whether it could even be possibly attempted murder charges. That's the most serious one, because he rammed a truck into a store intentionally where he knew that people were. He knew people were. The manager chased him out there, and the fact that he came back and smashed right in that store, somebody else could have been walking out that door at that time. So basically put a lot of people's lives in danger at the same time. But this is just, like I said, I cannot believe that this thing happened, because this is just something that you literally, you hear in, like, The Onion or something like that. Like, it's like The Onion's like a fake news parody news site where, like, you know, somebody doesn't get, like, you know, their chicken wings order and just smashes into the store. Well, it sounds like something that you'll see like on a TV show, something that's fake, something that's not real. But no, this was real. There's enough crazy in real life to also make TV shows out of it, but this is a perfect example of it. But I don't know what kind of state of mind this guy was in. The guy was possibly on drugs, but the manager kept his cool composure. Manager stopped him, defended his employees, did the right thing, and even before the whole fight started, the manager, you can tell the manager was a nice guy because it's just how he tried to resolve the situation. He offered to give the guy his money back, even though it was actually probably the guy's fault. The guy probably ordered chicken tenders without even realizing it, so it probably was his fault originally. But the manager was nice, offered to give him back his money, and then when he didn't have his credit card, manager said, you can just keep the food, we won't charge it. But no, not good enough for the guy. The guy sees chicken wings across the counter, tries to reach it, creates this huge scene. My God, what a complete idiot, right guys? But let me know what you guys think down below of it. I wasn't able to show you guys every angle of the fight that happened, because basically whenever I react to these videos, you know, they almost always get demonetized, so that's why I was showing you guys, you know, the pictures of it. But if you guys want to see the full fight and all the angles of it, I will link the video down below. But like I said, hopefully the cops catch this guy, and also it's been a week since this basically happened, and I was waiting a week to see whether the guy would be arrested, and so far I was not able to find anything. And if anybody in the comments knows whether this guy got arrested or not, let me know down below. But I tried to researching it, was not able to find anything. Hopefully the guy gets caught, because you don't want somebody like that walking the street. Somebody that's going to smash into a restaurant because they don't get their chicken wings order. My God, what kind of moron. But let me know what you guys think down below. Hope that you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day.